I didn't hear the bells. We'll do the 3 bells. Good morning. Ooh, come on in, people, come on in. I think our bell ringer didn't make it out there. Good morning and welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Richmond. It's on this very special new member Sunday, so I hope some of our 88 new members are out there, either in virtual land or here with us this morning. My name is Suzanne Short, and I am honored to be serving this community on its board of directors. Welcome to those joining us here in the room in the Great Hall today, and those joining us virtually from near and far. We're grateful to be able to connect with you. If you are a visitor here today, we are so glad that you found us. We welcome you and thank you for spending time with us. We are a community committed to being deliberately diverse, fully inclusive, and want you to know that whoever you are, you belong here. Our church was begun in 1833 as a liberal Christian community. We are now a community of many faith journeys and beliefs, guided not by a creed, but by a covenant to uphold shared principles marked by love, respect, and justice. Our faith community continues to work together to put our UU principles and values into action and to build beloved community and serve the purpose of justice for all here in the Richmond community and beyond. We welcome you to live these principles with us as you continue your spiritual journey and join together with us in choosing to always side with love. If you are a visitor here today or new to Unitarian Universalism and would like to learn more about our faith and community, we invite you to check out our website, join our Facebook group, and reach out by email at membership@richmonduu.org. To stay informed of important news and many activities occurring in our community, I encourage members and visitors to arrive or tune in to our Sunday morning services 5 to 10 minutes early to catch the rolling announcements, and remember to check out the various editions of First News Weekly. Again, welcome to this joyous Sunday made sacred by all of us being together, worshiping, and sharing our time with each other.
Good morning. I am the Reverend Sherman Z. Logan, Jr., and I have the privilege of serving this wonderful congregation as the senior minister. It's so good to see all of you are here this morning on this beautiful sunshiny day. I need to change my glasses. Joining me this morning as my worship associate is Fred Saltall. And you all in for a treat today. We have our house band here this morning, providing their musical talents. So it's customary here at First UU that we invite our visitors to tell us who you are and where you're from. So if you are comfortable, please raise your hand. The minister of the mic, Minister Jamie, will come to you, and you can tell us who you are and where you're from as you're comfortable.
Hi everyone, my name is Lainey Sullivan. I'm from Southside Richmond. If you recognize me, it might be because my band played a few months ago, and I'm here today to do the Share the Plate announcement for Fonticello Food Forest.
Good morning, thank you.
I'm Jenny Greenwell from Yorktown, Virginia. This is my husband, Heb Greenwell, and we are the grandparents of R.J. Greenwell, who's playing today.
Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Carrie Walker. I lived in Richmond, and then I lived out west for a while, and I got involved in a Unitarian church out there and loved it, so I'm back, and I'm looking forward to getting to know everyone.
Welcome.
Hello, I'm Christine Barkley. I'm from South Florida, the River of Grass UU Church.
Welcome.
Yay, who was it? Who was this one?
Hi, my name is Ron Blank. I was born in Richmond. My wife and Linda and I are visiting today. We live in Alexandria, and it's a harrowing drive.
Yeah. Welcome. We're glad you made it. Okay, Jamie, I don't see any more hands, so you can take a break. So welcome everyone to worship today. We are so glad to see you. And as you are comfortable, please rise and greet your neighbor and welcome our visitors.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Perfect segue. Thank you, Reverend Sherman. I'm here today wishing all of our new members a warm welcome to our wonderful church community. Part of our welcoming and supportive community here at First U is our Neighbor to Neighbor program, and I am a Neighbor to Neighbor ambassador. This initiative was started around 2018 to geographically link our congregation by neighborhoods to develop friendship and support for one another in a small group setting. How do we gather? We meet at parks, restaurants, family homes for potlucks. We have garden parties, cookouts, bonfires. we do social justice work. You get to decide how you want your group to gather and focus. Our groups are open to all family members, not just old folks like me. We encourage adults and children to come to our gatherings when possible. One of our members, Elena Honeycutt, had hoped to be here today to speak with me about her group, the Delphiniums. She recently hosted a potluck, a covered dish at her home, and she said she would like me to share her feelings. She said how much she has enjoyed knowing the UUs in her neighborhood and plans to stay active in her group for as long as she is able. She also said it was such a nice way to connect with church members near her who she had not previously met. In order to do this work, we're looking for neighborhood coordinators. There are several areas and several people that have fallen through the cracks, and we apologize for that. But we're in the process of preparing a community-wide survey about neighbor to neighbor, and we hope that you will spend the 10 minutes it will take just to give us your feedback so we know how to proceed with our program. As Reverend Dr. Faith Harris spoke last Sunday, like the indigenous people, we need to cultivate and strengthen our communal relationships and strive to build resilient communities by sharing our lives and resources with one another. Please stop by our Neighbor to Neighbor out in the foyer to get information if you need some, and we are providing refreshments. The Neighbor to Neighbor coordinators have provided refreshments in President's Hall afterwards, so we hope to see you there. Thank you all.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, darling, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me, stand by me. darling, stand by me, stand by me.
Our opening words this morning are by Reverend David Breeden, an invocation for resistance. Now, there is invoke, there is provoke, there is just broke, and there is awoke. There's justice, there's injustice, and there's just us. To make justice and love happen, that's what I believe because I am a free thinker. I believe it's only us together who can save ourselves. I'm going to convoke, C-O-N, with to gather, to call together, to call to get with it. Let's convoke and provoke, because those mad with power, those afraid of truth, shut down newspapers, bomb mosques, close churches, shut meetings down, and shut people up. If you have an address, you are in danger. But the poets, the writers, the artists, the dreamers of a freer way will persist, assist, and resist, invoking, evoking, provoking, convoking, and awakening the populace. You, poets, are the sacred. You, prophet artists, are the hope. You are the resistance.
Our chalice lighting for this morning is Awaken to the Work by the Reverend Suzelle Lynch. The fire of love burning deep in every human heart calls us to awaken. Awaken to the work of justice, awaken to the work of compassion, awaken to the work of community. For in this time of human suffering and exaltation, we are called beyond awakening into action. So may the chalice flame we now light guide our hearts in service to a greater good that holds all living things in its holy embrace.
And please rise in body or in spirit, and let us sing our opening hymn, 124, Be That Guide.
How to Survive the Apocalypse by Sean Parker Dennison. First, you must learn to listen, not only for enemies around corners or hidden places, but for the faint footsteps of hope and the whisper of resistance. Hone your skills, aim your heart towards kindness, and stockpile second chances. Under the weight of destruction, we will need the strong shelter of forgiveness and the deeper wells that give the sweet water of welcome. We have a place for you. When the world ends, we must not add destruction to destruction, not accept a beggar's bargain to fight death with more death. In order to survive the apocalypse, any apocalypse at all, we have to give up the counterfeit currency of self-sufficiency, the mistaken addiction to competition, the lie that the last to die has somehow survived.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lainey Sullivan. I'm the co-founder and administrative director of Fonticello Food Forest. And I just want to give you such gratitude for what you do with the Share the Plate and sharing it with small community groups like us. It makes such a difference for us in our operations. We exist over in Southside off of Bainbridge Street within Fonticello Park. And we are a community garden, but we have really been showing the city of Richmond what a food forest is, teaching the city about concepts of permaculture and mutual aid, and we do lots of different kinds of work, but some of our most important work we've been doing is every Wednesday since the pandemic, so 3 years, we distribute thousands of pounds of free food to whoever wants it. We don't check credentials. We believe in what we do in the spirit of solidarity, not charity, and mutual aid. So every Wednesday from 12 to 3, we have 3,000 pounds of food that we distribute to whoever wants it. And there are about 100 people who come and get food from us each week. And we also have several nature connection areas that we've made for children, a mulch kitchen, a log land to experiment with boat building. We have tunnels and forts. So we are in the middle of the city in a heat island and in a food desert. And we just want to create a beautiful, abundant space where children can be transformed by interacting with nature and thus care more about trees and more about plants. So that's also part of our mission, is to be a safe, beautiful place that shows what biodiversity looks like in the city. And then, of course, we have annual gardens, and we have perennial gardens, we have fruit trees, so it's always there, it's always open to the public. Please come anytime and visit. It's really close to Forest Hill in Manchester, and Fonticello Food Forest, and we just are so grateful, and with the money that you all are raising for us, we're going to be able to offer free programs to the community. We'll probably be having a May fairy village installation soon, some basket weaving classes, some kombucha making classes, all kinds of things. And if you have a skill that you'd like to teach, let us know and we can set up a free workshop to the community and network for you. But we're just so grateful for your generosity and your community, and thank you. It makes a huge difference.
Thank you, Laney. Please look on your screen for ways to give. And if you want to give in person, the ushers now pass the baskets. The offering will be taken and most gratefully received. let us now enter into a time of meditation. Sit straight in your seat. Plant your feet firmly on the ground. Close your eyes as you're comfortable. Now feel the earth beneath your feet as it supports you. Feel the love of this community as it surrounds and enfolds you. Feel your breath as it flows in and out of your body. Breathe in, breathe out. Listen to your heartbeat. Listen to your heart. Now let us pause to feel the spirit of life and love that ties us each together. Spirit of life and love, God of many mysteries beyond our naming, we welcome the presence of the Holy in this place as we are together today for a time of prayer. Guide us now as we are linked heart to heart in the stillness and calmness of this moment. Our time together is a precious gift. So we gather this morning in the name of justice and love and service to a higher good. We gather in hope for a world where oppression of any kind is challenged. We gather to spark the fire of commitment lit in every heart. We gather as a communion of all souls to affirm that a holy love is for all without exception. May we be strengthened in efforts to be of service, and may we always be mindful our lives are filled with privilege, success, and joy that are for close to many. So may our prayer be that we always see clearly and that we care for one another. And may we try always to be inclusive and open, not exclusive and narrow. And on this day and every day, may we give thanks, but let us also be dissatisfied with the world as it is, for a new world is waiting to be realized. May our spirits and bodies be nourished and nurtured as we give thanks and praise for all that sustains, heals, and holds. We ask for a blessing today, on this day, a day of gratitude, a day to celebrate success in the face of adversity, and build a consistent hope for our world. May this be so. Amen. Ashe. a reading by the Reverend Gretchen Haley. These times ask us to instead be what Martin Luther King Jr. called creatively maladjusted. These times ask us to see and name what is not right, what is disordered in the world, and to refuse to believe it is normal or acceptable or moral, and instead to believe that we are meant for something else, to expect peace and equality and mutual respect for everyone, including ourselves. And these times ask us to come together in our congregation as a part of what Unitarian Universalist minister Rebecca Parker calls a community of resistance, which she defines as countercultural habitation in which people learn ways to survive and thrive that can resist and sometimes even transform an unjust dominant culture. The modern-day prophet Martin Luther King Jr. named the realities of his time: injustice, inequality, and inhumane treatments of poor and black folks. These realities were called out, sobbed, and spoken and shouted. It is not so much that he prophesies as in foretelling, though often the prophets do that, but it is that they point to the present brokenness we encounter on our way to the future alternative. See, look here, they shout. We must see it before we can participate in making it right. Prophet cries out, rise up, rise up. See what it is. It seems like a simple first step to see, but sometimes it takes a prophet to remind us that we tend to see what we want to see and easily learn what confirms our experiences and the benefit of power. But the prophets are relentless in their clarion call and their insistence of a new way. Today, we are in a time of great turmoil in our nation. We are called to resist the voices that spew rhetoric of hate and bigotry, the call for large-scale resection and widespread human rights abuses, the policies and laws that further establish structural racism and oppression in a culture where women's reproductive rights are being trampled. Dissenting voices of young activist state legislators are being muted. Thousands of lives across the country are being destroyed by gun violence. Books are being banned in school. Real U.S. history isn't being taught, and the rights of our trans siblings are being eradicated. There are things that we in this faith community can never be adjusted to, and the strength of our resistance would be a measure of our faith. Now, in our global society today, there's a liminal and pivotal time for many of us to examine our biases, to learn and unlearn, and to change, an opportunity for us to turn and go a different way. Oppressions, white supremacy culture, and racism are not just social justice issues. It is a daily, demoralizing, dangerous living reality that eliminate hopes, limit opportunity, and quite literally demeans and destroy the lives in the beloved community. And if I say and believe as I do, that oppression hurts all of us, and it's not a competition between what oppressions are more hurtful than others, but it's imperative that we take into our consciousness in a visceral way the ways oppression affects all our lives and livelihood every moment and very directly. And on this Sunday, not only on this day, but any given day in April or August, we must awaken our dangerously asleep and oblivious souls. Martin Luther King March on Washington speech, commonly called I Have a Dream, from August 28, 1963, constitute one of the most defining moments in American history. In addition to the beautiful contents of his words, it also relayed even a more invaluable message about the strength of one man and his faith in the goodness of the people to change the world as we know it. The speech was a huge achievement and was delivered live to 250,000 civil rights supporters in Washington, D.C. And as influential that his speech was, beauty notwithstanding, some of Martin Luther King's greatest writings are not well known. And there was another speech that Dr. King gave, however, to a smaller audience that carried a message that was more central than his most famous address. On December 18, 1963, he spoke at a Western Michigan university and addressed the popular term maladjusted that the field of psychology of his day has introduced. And here's what he told his audience at Western Michigan. Modern psychology has the word that is used a great deal, and this is the word maladjusted. Certainly, we want to avoid the maladjusted life within our personality. But I say to you, my friends, there are certain things in our nation and the world to which I'm proud to be maladjusted, and which I hope all people of goodwill would be maladjusted until the good society realize. I say very honestly that I never intend to become adjusted to segregation or discrimination. I never intend to become adjusted to religious bigotry. I never intend to adjust myself to economic traditions that would take the necessities from the many and give luxuries to the few. I never intend to adjust myself to the madness of militarism, to the self-defeating effects of physical violence. In other words, I'm about convinced now there's a need for a new organization in our world, the International Association for Advancement of Creative Maladjustment. Now, Dr. King had his tongue firmly implanted in his cheek when he suggested forming the International Association for the Advancement of Creative Maladjustment. But his point was that he wasn't adjusted to the societal ills that plagued the country. And the truth is that some people, now I'm not talking about anybody here this morning, but there are some people we all know who are adjusted to barely noticing discrimination, bigotry, economic disparity, environmental racism, and the madness of the prison industrial complex. But as Dr. King suggested, we need to sign up for membership in the International Association for the Advancement of Creative Maladjustments, and we need to chafe in our comfort and be shaken awake. However, it is painful to listen and to learn and to pay attention. It is hard work. It is essential work. It is life-sustaining, valuable work. These many layers of culturally sanctioned and sustained violence, racism, and economic injustice can feel overwhelming. And we ask ourselves, what to do, where to start, or where to continue in the good work. And I know many of you have been working diligently in education, politics, relief work, and advocacy for years, and many of you have relentlessly personally touched by the awful effect of oppression. The wait has been long, and I believe that together we may renew our energy and commitment to justice and encourage one another, first by waking up to one another's experience through deep listening, reading, meditation, marching, showing up, working to let go of our own fear of doing it wrong as we're trying to wake up to what is to be creatively maladjusted right here in Richmond and surrounding areas, right here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. It is time, my friends. It is past time. Dr. King called for creatively maladjustment where people refuse to normalize inequality and to work continuously to expose injustices so that we may be able to emerge from the bleak and desolate midnight of man's inhumanity to man into the bright and glittering daybreak of freedom and justice. And beloved, to be creatively maladjusted doesn't mean allowing ourselves to become content with the problems we see in the world around us. It isn't about giving in to social pressure to align the way we think or behave with the status quo. Instead, being creatively maladjusted means finding new solutions to challenges that we are facing, allowing us to be different, embracing the creative contribution of our friends and neighbors. The creatively maladjusted among us are critical thinkers, architects of the alternative, and believers in humanity. Being creatively maladjusted will allow us to find bolder ways to speak truth to power, to call out and name what is not right, what is disorder in the world, and to be normal, acceptable, or morally sound. Being creatively maladjusted will allow us to create space for transformational dialogue so we can learn to disagree and find common ground with each other. Being creatively maladjusted will allow our voices to be counter voices against the dangerous tides of white Christian nationalism, white supremacy factions that threaten our freedom and democracy. Being creatively maladjusted will allow us to continue to work at convincing and equipping our congregation to see that advancing peace and justice is not an extracurricular activity, but is an integral part of our congregation and our Unitarian Universalist faith. And we will increasingly seek to strengthen the multi-generational and multiracial movement committed to building the beloved community. Now, there's also a great temptation to stop standing up against the status quo, shaking our fists at evils of the world, criticizing and condemning unworthy behavior, pointing out scornfully the evils of materialism, nationalism, racism, sexism, elitism, and all those other isms that seek to hold one group down to favor another. And some folks spend their lives being angry, caustic, critical, disdainful, and judgmental. And it's relatively easy to tear down, and there's so much material to work with. But everywhere we look, there's something that could be better and need to be fixed. And it's relatedly easy to get stuck there. The challenge is to move from the first necessary part of standing up to and identifying and calling out the wrong in the world, to the second and even more necessary part of offering solutions and being a part of the solution. Dr. King has a wonderful statement in his sermon entitled Transformed Nonconformance. And he writes, human salvation lies in the hand of the creatively maladjusted. So there's a big difference between being destructively maladjusted and being creatively maladjusted. Creative maladjustment requires living sacrifice, requires being individually uncomfortable first for the sake of the comfort of more for later. For us as individuals and as a congregation, it requires living sacrifice as well, not by only pointing out the problems, but also finding ways to be part of the solution, even when we don't feel like it, even when it's a risk, even when it costs both in terms and times and treasure. And in our country, there's still so much work that needs to be done, where things are not the best that it can be, where suffering or wants exist that is not being addressed adequately. But we must save precious time in anger and criticism and blame. These reactions won't do anyone any good, nor we can afford to be depressed, overwhelmed by the vastness or variety of our problems. Instead, we are called to be creatively maladjusted, identifying issues and situations where we can make a difference, and then becoming part of the transformative effort. We know it won't be easy. It will involve risk and sacrifice on our part. But beloveds, the urgency of this world agenda is pressed upon us, and we have to address ourselves to the real issues of our day, giving no more time than what is absolutely necessary to the matter concerning the internal life of the congregation. So may it be here and now that here at First UU, we are so creatively maladjusted that we can feel it in our guts. It is my conviction for many of you in this time and place that First UU can be a place where we can learn and teach active, intentional, transformational minds through the anti-racism and anti-oppression education, which we do during Living the Pledge class. And if you haven't taken the class yet, we need to talk. We may work through programs, plans, and action items to equip families, youth, and older people too, to open our compassion hearts to listen and hear and walk in solidarity with one another, and helping to rectify the disparity and relieve desperation. What if we choose to be creatively maladjusted community that teaches and acts for the transformation of our minds that results not in an attempt at rescue or easy solution, but rather in empowerment, true peace, and equal opportunity. So may the prophets who have gone before us rest in peace from their labor, and may that love never die, but be reborn stronger and greater in all of us. May this be so. Amen.
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You could stand me up at the gates of hell, and I won't back down. No, I'll stand my ground. Won't get turned around. And I'll keep this world from dragging me down. Gonna stand my ground, and I won't back down.
I won't back down.
Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out.
I won't back down.
Hey, I will stand my ground, and I won't back down. Well, I know what's right. I got just one life in a world that keeps on pushing me around. Gonna stand my ground, and I won't back down.
I won't back down.
Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out.
I won't back down.
I will stand my ground, and I won't back down.
I won't back down.
Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out.
I won't back down.
I will stand my ground,
I won't back
and I won't back down. No, I won't back down.
Thank you, Tom Norton. Okay. Today, we welcome all of you who joined this congregation virtually or in person during the past 3 years. If you're here today, please stand to be recognized. If you joined in the past 3 years during COVID, please stand and be recognized. Okay, you may be seated. As Suzanne mentioned in the welcoming that we've had 88 people to join since January 2020 through February of this year. 88 people while we were closed down for a few years. So I want to celebrate your commitment in this worship service. And in this gathering, we lift our voices and share sounds We bring ourselves before the holy in silence and in speech. We search together for meaning and truth in life, and we share the joys and sorrows of our lives with one another. Joining First Unitarian Universalists means being a part of this gathered community, speaking out on the future of our congregation, and offering and receiving the gifts of the Spirit, and supporting others and being supported in return. So today, we receive you with open hands and hearts, and as you join us, we once again renew our commitment to the religious community. We are proud and happy to have you among us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And right after service, I invite those of you who attended the pathway classes, joined the congregation, but didn't get an opportunity to sign the membership book in person, please come to the front of the chancel for a book signing ritual right after service.
Chalice extinguishing for this morning, words from Martin Luther King Jr., and I think a powerful statement to everything we've heard this morning. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter.
And please rise in body and spirit as I give the benediction. And these words are by the Reverend Rebecca Parker, adapted. The times we are living in ask us to exercise our capacity for prophetic witness. By prophetic witness, I mean our capacity to see what is happening, say what is happening, and act according to what we know. The prophetic witness calls out evil, injustice, and oppression in all forms, whenever and wherever we see it. The prophetic witness has the ability to name those places where we resist knowing what we need to be known. So go out now and being prophetic witnesses. Go out knowing that you are blessed and that we ought to be blessing to others. Go in peace. And I close in the hymn, Guide My Feet.
Hey!